A significant change in our weather is on the way, and what will follow could be one of the more unusual weather patterns we have observed so far this season. After several winter storms brought feet of snow across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast over the last 7 days, the pattern is preparing to shift again, and this next phase looks far from ordinary. Several storm systems will be taking a rather uncommon track. Over the next 7 days, they will pull colder air deeper into the central and eastern United States, setting the stage for a much more distinct stretch of weather. Instead of a single major winter storm, we are going to be tracking a series of disturbances that will affect the Great Plains, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the Southeast. As these systems interact with pockets of warm and humid air, we could see an interesting mixture of weather, including the risk of strong storms and even tornadoes, along with the possibility of some rare, early-season snow in parts of Tennessee and even portions of the Midsouth. And the farther north you are, the colder and more persistent this weather pattern is going to be. Temperatures are expected to remain 10 to 20 degrees below normal across a very large portion of the northern and eastern United States. Repeated bursts of colder air will certainly prolong the wintry feel. Multiple waves of scattered snow showers, freezing rain, and even lake-effect snow could create slick spots and quickly changing conditions, which is enough to cause travel issues well into next week. So, in today's forecast, we are going to carefully explain what you need to know about this major turn our weather is about to take. Now, one of the most important factors in the weather pattern developing over the next 7 days is our jet stream, as it is going to shift in a way that we have not seen over the last several weeks. So, let's discuss it in more detail. This is what the jet stream looks like right now. We have a low-pressure system that is currently located over the Rocky Mountains. This system is going to bring some very heavy mountain snowfall for the next 48 hours across Colorado, including the Denver area, where we could see upwards of 12 inches of snow in some spots. So, a significant winter weather event is coming for that region. Otherwise, our jet stream right now is flowing mostly west to east for much of the lower 48 states, but I do want to point out, we actually have a very large dip in our jet stream up over Canada. This is our polar jet stream. It is going to dive to the south as we go into tomorrow, and it will bring the coldest weather that we have seen so far this season to parts of the Midwest. In fact, we are expecting temperatures to drop by as much as 40 degrees below average, which will likely break records across the Midwest and the Ohio Valley on Thursday and Friday. Some areas could experience record-breaking temperatures down into the negative numbers in some spots, which is quite remarkable, even for the beginning of December. Now, as we go into Friday and Saturday, our jet stream is going to become much straighter, which you might think means things will be quieter, because typically when we have that kind of flow, it does indicate a calmer weather pattern. But that is not necessarily the case this time. We are actually going to have a great deal of moisture coming out of the Gulf, which will help to bring heavy rainfall and some isolated strong storms to the Gulf Coast states and the Southeast. On the other hand, our jet stream is dipping just enough over Canada, which will help to allow for a couple of Alberta clippers. These systems typically bring snowfall this time of year. So, I would expect at least a few rounds of snow this weekend and into next week across the northern tier of the United States. And please notice how our jet stream will continue to come out of the northwest. This is what will really help to keep temperatures below average for much of the United States. We will have multiple pushes of cold air, which means multiple cold fronts. And with those cold fronts, we could see the potential for some snow, strong storms, and heavy rainfall. So many different types of weather will be possible, which means that conditions are going to stay relatively active here over the next couple of weeks. Even though we are not talking about a single major winter storm like what we saw over the last few days, the weather is still going to be active, with multiple chances for snow, strong storms, and heavy rainfall. Now, over the next few days, we are going to experience a very intense Arctic blast across much of the United States. So, as we go into tonight and tomorrow, let's look at how cold it is going to get across the northern plains and the Midwest. We are going to have temperatures running by as much as 40 degrees below average. Record-breaking low temperatures will be set in many areas tonight. For tomorrow morning, we are talking about a widespread area in the Midwest, including Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois, with temperatures as much as 45 degrees below average. You are certainly going to need a winter jacket. We could have some sub-zero temperatures in some areas as well. The wind chills are also not going to help, as very strong northerly winds are going to be in place across much of the Midwest. A very strong cold front is going to make its way through the Ohio Valley as well on Thursday, which is going to continue to keep things very cold. Even for Thursday afternoon, a widespread area from Texas back into the Northeast will be dealing. We are expecting temperatures to fall by as much as 25 degrees below what is normal for this time of year. By Friday evening, this very chilly air will cover the Great Lakes, the Northeast, and the entire East Coast. The cold front should stop before it reaches Florida, but by Friday afternoon, folks in Georgia and Alabama will certainly feel it moving in, Louisiana. But if you look at Florida, temperatures there will still be running 10 to 20 degrees above average for this time of the year, which again is almost record-breaking for those areas as well. But by the later half of the weekend, that cold front will begin to creep into parts of central Florida. So, cooler air is going to make it there, but it is not going to be very intense by the time it arrives. And then, the entire Northeast is going to be settled under well below average temperatures to begin next week, which is certainly not good news if you do not like winter. It is going to be quite chilly to start the work week. Then, by the middle and end of next week, we could be talking about some very warm air making its way into the Great Plains, the Rockies, and all along the West Coast, with very little relief in sight, at least for the end of next week. But again, things can still change, as that is around 7 days from now. But overall, the weather looks quite chilly for the next 7 days for most of the lower 48 states. And folks, I truly mean it when I say this. It is going to be downright frigid on Thursday morning across much of the Midwest. These are the actual low temperatures, not the wind chills. This is not factoring in the wind or how it will feel on your skin. We are talking about a widespread area in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois with temperatures as low as 20 degrees below zero. A very quick but intense shot of cold air is going to make conditions very dangerous on Thursday morning. And then by Thursday afternoon, temperatures will barely get out of the single digits for most of these areas, including Des Moines, Chicago, back through Madison, and also Minneapolis. Then, by Friday morning, we will have below zero temperatures in parts of Indiana, including Fort Wayne, and back over near Cleveland by Lake Erie. This simply means we are looking at frigid temperatures continuing into Friday, and then on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, that cold air is going to linger. It is not going to go anywhere quickly. It is just going to remain very, very cold across these areas. Then, by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, things will start to improve across the Midwest and the Northeast, but it is still going to be very cold for at least the next 5 days. And currently, for Thursday morning, we are expecting at least 10 different record-breaking low temperatures to take place across the Midwest. This includes areas near Des Moines, all the way through central Wisconsin near Wausau, and even near Kansas City, where it is only going to be 5 degrees on Thursday morning. For Thursday afternoon, we expect record-breaking low maximum temperatures, which means very cold high. Temperatures are going to take place across the Great Lakes and back into the Central Plains. Then, by Friday morning, we are going to be dealing with almost 24 record-breaking low temperatures from the Northeast all the way back through the Great Lakes, including areas north of St. Louis and near Chicago, where it is going to be a flat 0 degrees, and then also back through Ohio, where temperatures will only be in the single digits. Now, shifting our attention to snow and rain, we are expecting some moderate to heavy snowfall across parts of Colorado, New Mexico, and even Arizona today. That is occurring beneath a high-pressure system that is going to bring all of that Arctic air tonight. Some snow showers are possible tonight into early tomorrow for parts of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and the Northeast. We are not expecting much in the way of accumulation, though. As we go into Thursday night and Friday, some heavy rainfall and even some isolated strong storms will be possible right along the Gulf Coast. This will be just underneath that high-pressure system, where we might see an isolated tornado risk exist back over in far southern Mississippi and Alabama. On Friday afternoon and evening, a little bit of snow is possible in parts of Virginia and even North Carolina, but that will be mainly in the Appalachian Mountains. Then, on the weekend, we are expecting some rain to continue across the southeast. It is going to be a rather active weather pattern. Showers and thunderstorms will continue through Sunday and Monday. Some snow is going to be possible in the northern plains and the Midwest. This would be a quick little shot of light snowfall, but again, not much accumulation is expected there. One of our computer models has been hinting at some snow even carrying into Monday across parts of North Carolina and Virginia. So that is a trend we will want to keep an eye on. Then, by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, things become a bit more uncertain, But we will probably have at least a few Alberta clippers making their way across the northern plains, the Midwest, and the Northeast, with some moderate to heavy snowfall being a possibility. How much snow accumulates and where we see that snow is all still uncertain right now, since it is over a week away. But this is definitely a weather pattern that we need to monitor closely, because by the middle and end of next week, we could get several rounds of snowfall and even perhaps some isolated strong storms in the United States. And if you are in Colorado, we are expecting your biggest snowfall event so far of the winter season. We are expecting around 4 to 6 inches of snow anywhere from Pueblo back through Denver, where we could even have 6 to 7 inches in the Denver, Colorado area. And then in the higher elevations, a widespread 7 to 12 inches of snow is in the forecast. In the mountains of southern Colorado, some areas could see 2 feet of snow. So, a big snowfall event is coming. For those of you that are skiers, this is certainly very good news, and the holiday season is approaching fast. If you need stocking stuffers or Christmas presents, our online shop is a wonderful place to look. I am happy to share that we have several new collections available, including our Supercell merchandise, our cheese cur items, and a variety of other wonderful things. You can find everything by using the very first link in the description below. As a friendly reminder, please be sure to place your order before December the 10th. That will ensure anything you select from our store arrives in time for the big holiday.